The atmosphere was electric in the grand hall of the school. Students sat on the edge of their seats, their eyes fixed on the stage. It was the day of the championship, the one event that every student had been waiting for all year. The competition was fierce, and everyone knew this year's battle would be like no other. At the center of the room stood young Alex, a boy from a poor family, barely making it through life, but now with a rare opportunity in his hands. He had earned a scholarship to this prestigious school, a chance many could only dream of. Alex wasn't the smartest student, he wasn't even the second best. But he had something that most of the others didn't: an unbreakable focus and a heart full of determination. Across from him stood Hoda Fury, the reigning champion. Hoda wasn't just the smartest student, he was the most feared. His reputation was built on his superiority, not only in knowledge but in his bullying. He made sure to remind everyone of his greatness, putting down anyone who dared challenge him. No one at all, ever stood a chance against him. But Alex, somehow, had made it to this point. Against all odds, Alex had worked so hard for this moment. Every day, after his classes, while the others partied or hung out, Alex stayed in the library. He studied late into the night, determined to prove that he belonged. Yet, no matter how hard he tried, Hoda's shadow loomed large over him. The students, including Hoda's friends, often mocked Alex, calling him a nobody and making cruel jokes about his background. Still, Alex stayed calm. His only focus was the championship. It wasn't long before the day of the competition arrived. Alex's team was ready, but just days before, disaster struck. The two brilliant students who were supposed to be Alex's teammates faced personal issues and couldn't participate. So, by sheer luck or fate, Alex was promoted to team leader. His team would face Hoda Fury's unbeatable squad, and everyone knew that this would be the easiest victory for Hoda. No one expected anything from Alex. The competition began with a burst of energy. Students lined up for each round, answering difficult questions about science, mathematics, history, and literature. It was intense, and every question was harder than the last. With each round, Alex felt the pressure building. His team fought bravely, but in the end, it came down to the final match, Hoda Fury versus Alex. The rules for the finals were clear: one-on-one, the best of the best. And everyone knew, with Hoda's unchallenged brilliance, that Alex had no chance. "You'll never make it past the first question," Hoda sneered as he glanced at Alex from across the room. The other students snickered in agreement, whispering about how Hoda would easily crush Alex. They thought Alex was just lucky to be here, but Alex wasn't intimidated. His heart raced, but his mind was sharp. This was his moment. As the finals began, the judges turned to Alex. The crowd held its breath, waiting for him to make his move. In a voice that was steady but filled with purpose, Alex spoke. "Before we start, I want to make a request," he said. The entire room went silent, their eyes widening. What was this? No one had ever dared speak like this to Hoda Fury. "I want Hoda Fury to ask me 5 questions in a row, and then I will ask him just one question. If he answers all 5, I'll take my loss. But if he fails to answer my one question, I win." A shockwave went through the crowd. The judges exchanged uncertain glances, while Hoda Fury laughed out loud, as if the idea was absurd. "You're serious, Alex?" Hoda grinned, already seeing his victory. "Fine. I'll accept. But trust me, you won't even be able to answer one of my questions." Alex didn't flinch. He simply nodded. The competition began. Hoda Fury's questions were rapid fire, each more difficult than the last. He asked about advanced physics, obscure historical events, and complex mathematics. Alex's heart pounded, but with each question, his mind stayed clear. He had studied for years, had worked harder than anyone else. Slowly, the crowd began to notice something strange. Alex was getting every question right. The tension in the room built as Hoda Fury's smugness started to fade. He was running out of difficult questions to ask. Sweat began to trickle down his face. This wasn't supposed to happen. Alex shouldn't be winning. When Hoda finished his 5th question, he looked at Alex with disdain. "Now, it's your turn. What's your one question?" The judges, still stunned by Alex's performance, turned their attention to him. Alex stepped forward, his voice steady and calm. "My question for you, Hoda Fury, is simple. Can you tell me the answer to this? What is the square root of 144? The entire room fell silent. Hoda Fury froze. His mind raced, but the answer wouldn't come. 12, it was so simple. Yet, in that moment of pressure, the one thing he'd never expected, doubt, crept into his mind. He opened his mouth, but the words wouldn't come. Then, he stammered, I don't know." The silence in the hall was deafening. Everyone was in shock. Alex had done it. He had beaten Hoda Fury, the unbeatable. The days that followed were strange. Hoda Fury, the boy who had once ruled the school with an iron fist, walked the halls with his head lowered. The change in him was subtle at first, but it was undeniable. He started speaking to others, apologizing for the bullying and arrogance that had defined his years at the school. Slowly, the students who had once feared him began to see a different side of Hoda, a humble side. As for Alex, he became a hero. His victory wasn't just about winning the championship. It was about proving that hard work, determination, and humility could triumph over arrogance and cruelty. Alex had done what no one thought was possible. He had beaten Hoda Fury, and in doing so, he had taught him the most important lesson of all. Alex's life changed that day, not because he had won the championship, but because he had shown everyone that no matter where you came from, no matter how small you seemed, you could rise above. And for Hoda Fury, it was the beginning of a new chapter, a lesson in humility that would follow him for the rest of his life. The competition had ended, but the real victory had just begun.